have examined this, and we say it is in this category. So if you go along to see it, or if you switch the on button onto your television to watch it, or if you put your radio on after 10 o'clock at night on Red Rose Radio, you know what you're going to get.
Yes.
You're happy with that?
Yes, I am happy with that.
I think you've changed your mind.
I haven't changed my mind. It just annoys me. No, but you can't put them all in the same category. You can't put films, you can't put records, you can't put television programmes.
But the term censorship applies to them all.
Yes, in the general term, but it works in different ways for different things. I mean, you know, what I said originally about the record was I think it just lines the pockets of the producers, whoever gets the money from making the record.
Well, it sounds to me that what we need are more records like that.
Well, probably, yes. I wouldn't mind if I was singing it myself, or if I was the producer, then my argument would probably be quite different.
Oh, that's all right. The producer usually gets a fee. He doesn't usually get a rip-off. Go on.
Let me say what I was saying about that play. I mean, it was well and truly publicised, you know, what it was. And yet I had two little old women behind me, God bless them. And they must have known what they were going to see. Now, all the way through it, they never stopped. They said it was disgusting, it should never have been allowed. But I tell you what, they didn't leave, and they still put the 20p in to get the binoculars to have an extra good look.
Well, they should have gone to the playhouse, they wouldn't have needed them. All right, love.
Okay, bye-bye.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding.
Whether you're planning to buy a new Ford, Lada or Citroen, John Wilding now has all the latest models of all three of these makes in stock and waiting for you to test drive. Alternatively, if you're looking at fully guaranteed used, you won't find a better choice than at John Wilding's two fabulous showrooms on the A6 at Garstang for Ford and at Westgate Morecambe for Lada and Citroen.
For sale, motor classified ads in the Red Rose Advertiser. Brand new in display box. Just £5 for up to 12 words. Genuine reason for sale. Wanted motor classified advertisers. Must have car to sell. Must really want to sell it. Obviously. Write or call in with your cash or cheque to Red Rose Radio or ring Preston 20 Move your motor in the Red Rose Advertiser.
You see which way that went? How do, Madeline? Oh, hang on. How do, Madeline?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I'd like to talk about retirement.
Go on, then.
Well, why is it when there's all these youngsters, you know, that can't get jobs, you know, they've no work for them, why can they not lower the age limit for the men? You know, like they've got to work till they're 65.
There's a dead simple reason for that.
What's that?
Young people on the supplementary benefit cost less than senior citizens on retirement pension and supplementary benefit. That's it.
That's it, oh.
It's cheaper.
Well, it seems wrong, you know.
Oh, it's absolutely wrong, but it's cheaper.
When men have worked from 14, you know, and
You've got to remember that we've got a government, and we've just re-elected it with a big majority, that says money is the only thing we have to worry about. Nothing else matters. People retire and die, don't matter. It's all right, saves us a few bob. We don't have to worry about any of that. The only thing that matters is money. If you don't make a profit, get rid of it. If it does make a profit, give it away.
Well, this is the
money,
they're not,
that's all that counts.
They're not able to enjoy their retirement, are
No,
they?
indeed they're not. But the government have said that's all right. We don't mind if they die early. Well, hypothermia and all that's a good thing. Keeps the bill down.
Right, okay, Alan. Bye.
Thank you very much. How do, Paul?
Hello, Alan.
What do you want?
Every year it seems the hippies are always getting into trouble about the summer solstice. My idea is pretty basic. It's to make a plastic Stonehenge so they won't get into any trouble and they'd be okay to have a mess about around there.
Well,
and it'd save a lot of fuss.
They wouldn't do it though, would they? They want to be at Stonehenge. They want to be there because that's the real Monty. That's where it's all at.
Well, hippies don't know much, do they? So they might be
They
fooled.
seem to know a little more than you. How do, Joe?
How do, Alan?
Yes?
I'd like to talk about Freemasonry, please.
Go on.
Could I just ask you one question first?
Yes?
Are you a royalist?
I don't know what that's got to do with Freemasonry.
Well, can you just answer my question, please?
Define what a royalist is.
A royalist is a person who, wants the Queen to be there.
To be where?
You know, who, instead of having it like the United States with the president as like the boss, we've got the Queen as our patron of the country.
If that's a royalist, then not really.
You're not?
Not really, if that is a royalist, but I don't think that is a royalist. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say that she, the Queen, is president of the Freemasonry.
No, she isn't.
She is.
No, she isn't.
I know that for a fact.
Right, well, we all have facts that are wrong.
Yeah, are you a Mason?
It's irrelevant.
Are you a Mason, yes or no?
That is irrelevant.
Not to the point that I'm trying to make.
Well, I'm not telling you.
Well,
Are you a Mason?
am I a Mason? No, I'm only 16.
Oh, I see.
But I have a father that's a Mason.
I see.
So I was just, if you were a royalist...
What's this father being a Mason got to do with it?
Well, he's just been telling me that he's been listening to you for the past few nights, and he totally disagrees with you.
Well, yes, he would do. If my father rolled his trouser leg up, exposed his breast and made a prat of himself, I wouldn't give him much credence either. I don't give yours any. I don't see why I should give mine if he did it.
Well, you make yourself look a prat on the radio, so why shouldn't my dad make himself look a prat in the
Well, I hope you're not going to retort what you might retort, but I actually get money for doing this.
My father gets enjoyment out of helping... Well, he helps schools.
No, we're not talking about the helping bit. We're talking about the making a prat.
Well, you make yourself look a prat.
Yeah, I do that for money. I'm here
for enjoyment.
I'm here making a prat of myself to 100,000 people every night because this is my living. If you're telling me that your father enjoys rolling up his trouser leg, exposing his breast, wearing a slipper and a pinny, and swearing an oath on pain of death by having his tongue ripped out wearing a noose, then fine, we all must get our kicks somehow. But I'd change dads if I had a dad like that. I would do my utmost to trade him in and get a proper one.
Well, I wouldn't, because he's the best dad in the world.
You may well be the best dad in the world. Let's hope you think that when you've grown up. How do Christine?
How do Alan?
Yes.
I'd like to talk about the young disabled, if I could, please.
Go on.
Now I suffer from MS. I'm presently quadriplegic, hoping to go no further. And I was just wondering, would they make facilities for the younger end of the age group, the young children, nurses and such? They make places where geriatrics can go to for daycare, but they seem to neglect the in-between age group, whereby there's nowhere for the 20 to 40 year age group to go to, just for a break and to give the families a break through the day. And there's nowhere at all for them to go to, apart from their own four walls, which they seem, they see day after day. And I would just like to make that point.
Okay, well, you made the point, Christine. All right, love.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
So there we were, browsing through the swimsuits when this gorgeous hunk came up to us.
He didn't.
He did. He said, "You look like the sort of girl who's just booked her holiday with National Travel World's late booking desk, saved a fortune and got herself a microwave for only £79. So I thought to myself...
You didn't.
I did. I thought, how did he know? Turns out he's only a plumber from Preston and was in the queue behind me at National Travel World. But he took advantage of 10% discount on any item over £100 at Central.
He didn't.
He did.
If you want a last-minute bargain holiday plus a microwave for only £79, book before the 30th of June at National Travel World's late booking desk.
This morning, Benjamin built a 3-foot-tall cathedral out of saucepans, taught Freddy the Frog how to parachute, wrote half a thank you letter to Granny, and had 4 of those sweets he's had hidden since his birthday. Now, however, his relentless search for knowledge has led him to count every single sheet on a roll of lovely soft Kleenex velvet toilet tissue. He may be some time.
Kleenex Velvet. Softness is our strength.
Why wrestle with a 23-foot crocodile while trying to drink a pint of Thwaites bitter? It's a question a lot of the regulars in here have often asked. The answer lies partly in my lifelong fascination with reptiles and amphibians, but it's also because I like a pint with a bitter snap.
Thwaites bitter, when you know what's what.
Ba, ba,
better furniture store. Edmondson's of Blackburn, a far, far better furniture store. For lounge, dining room and bedroom furniture. For famous names in quality carpets. For all home furnishings. Edmondson's offers choice. Edmondson's gives first-class service. And Edmondson's guarantees value for money. All round a far, far better furniture store. At Darwin Street, Blackburn. A far, far better furniture store. Edmondson's.
Howdy, Mark.
Hello. I'd like to talk about fate.
Go on.
You see, fate deals me blow after blow. And I'd like to know what you think about it.
I think you probably deserve it.
Yeah, but do you believe in it?
Believe in what?
In fate?
No.
Why not?
I'll prove it's there and I will.
Well, you see, you know.
You see, you know.
Do you
don't
believe
count as
fate
evidence.
happens?
Do I believe fate happens?
Yeah.
Well, how can I believe in non-existence
Well,
of
do you
fate?
believe your life planned out for you in advance?
No,
Why not?
because it isn't.
Well, how do you know that? Have you got evidence to prove it?
I don't have to have.
Hey?
I don't have to have.
Well, I think it is.
I don't spend much of my life trying to prove the negative. I rely on people to prove the positive.
Well, I think it's all planned out for you.
Well, give us the evidence.
Well, I went to a medium the other day and she told
A
me...
medium what?
A medium, you know, a spiritualist.
I see.
And she told me what was going to happen in this next week, and it's happened.
Oh, well done, the medium. How do David?
Hi, Alan.
Yes.
I sometimes listen to Test Match Special when it's on, unless it's abandoned for the day, or abandoned as a draw. But the point is that when I listen to Test Match Special on on medium wave, on Network 3, sometimes it comes through like, it comes through like bloody mush.
Yes.
And I honestly think that the BBC should do something about that. I know...
You'll be pleased to know that they're going to.
Pardon?
You'll be pleased to know that they're going to.
About time, too. But I'm just wondering, Alan, what do you think about cricket?
I like Test Match cricket, and I also listen to Test Match Special, which I think is the best radio programme in the world. I think it's sensational. However, I think some cricket is pretty boring.
Oh, definitely. I couldn't agree more, but I like Test matches. I mean, with me not being able to see, it's a game I like, and I like to hear it. I like to hear the commentators, but I'll tell you what, we lost our best commentator. Well, we lost two of them, in actual fact. Of course, they've got to grow old sometime. Rex Alston and John Arlott.
Indeed. John Arlott was in Lancashire the other week at the Lancashire Test for the launch of the, well, I don't suppose it's the launch, but the official opening of the Red Rose stands. They've got these beautiful executive boxes now, and he opened those, did the official ceremony, I think. But I don't know. I think you've got to go a long way to beat Johners, who this very day is 75 years of age.
Johners, oh gosh. Where he goes, I think they'll stop playing Test matches.
And then there was Colin Milburn. He's coming on.
Oh,
Colin Milburn.
right.
He was good fun the other day. Truman, of course, and all the regulars.
Mark, I did hear Rex Alston on when was it? Saturday, I think it was. Saturday. And it's, I mean, all right, his voice is there, but he's a bit shaky now. He's a bit quivery, considering his age, of course.
I was going to say, he's about 90, isn't he?
Well, he's about 83, I think.
One tends to get a bit shaky when you get into the 80s.
I would imagine
Chance to be a fine thing, wouldn't it? All right, mate.
Right, cheers.
Test match special. Hey, oh, to be as talented as those guys. How do, Stuart?
How do?
What do you want?
I was just hearing you talking about jobs before with the pensioners or something. Well, I wanted to ask you about sick pay. It's confusing me at the moment, right? There's something about it, like my boss, he says you've got to be off 3 days before you can get paid. Is that right?
I don't know, but there's some very good leaflets that explain it, which you can get from your Department for Social Security. How do, Valerie?
Oh, hello. I'm just ringing up. I have a post office account, and I went in to put £10 in this week, and they've wrote £10 down in the column, but in the balance they've added an extra £40 on. so I've got £50 more than what I had before. If I were to draw that £40 out, I would stand legally.
You would be 40 quid overdrawn, and they'd come round your house and call you a rude name.
Oh,
because you haven't got the money, and you know you haven't got the money.
No, but they've put it down in that column.
Well, unfortunately, they do make mistakes. They're not infallible. And so you're not entitled to benefit from that mistake.
Oh, so I wouldn't get away with it?
No.
Okay,
All right. Nice try. I'll do Ivor.
Good evening, Alan. I'd just like to talk about Freemasonry, if I could.
Please do.
There has been reference on the programme about Freemasons worshipping pagan gods.
Well, I don't think I've used the term worshipping.
No. You're quoting from I think the Church of England Commissioner's report.
I don't think the Church of England Commissioner's report says that they worship pagan gods either.
Well,
what it says is they link them together in rituals. It doesn't actually use the term worship.
That's fair comment. That's fair comment.
Carry on.
The point that I'm trying to make is that Freemasonry is in no way a religion. In fact, religion is totally banned from any of the meetings that Freemasons, when Freemasons meet. So religion is banned, and politics are banned, business is banned, and really what it's all about is simply a structure of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Brotherly love, the basis of Christianity really is sharing life with our fellow men, relief of, say, suffering.
Well, just a minute.
Or the
I'm
poor.
sorry. I disagree that the basis. I disagree that the basis of Christianity is sharing life with our fellow men, unless you're using men as the generic term. But in Freemasonry, you do not use men as a generic term. You use it as a sexist term, excluding women.
That is right.
So
I accept that.
So that's the first place it fails. It's no good using Christianity as your model.
No.
Because you don't follow the rules of Christianity,
No,
you don't allow women in. So that's got that out of the way. Let's have the second one.
Well, the relief of suffering, there is a relief of the poor, the recognition.
Well, I'm afraid you can relieve the poor without rolling your trouser leg up and dancing around like a lunatic.
Well, that's fair comment also.
So you can actually achieve that objective without getting involved in what a lot of people believe to be insidious secret society. That is what a lot of people believe it is.
Okay, I accept
Let's say
that.
the next
If that is what people think it is, well, I'll accept that. And the pursuit of truth.
Which truth?
The truth about life and the truth as opposed to non-truth or lies.
What lies?
Lies about life in general.
What are the lies?
What are the lies?
You see, to seek truth, you first of all have to have some lies to seek it out from. Which lies?
Right. Well, the recognition that we're trying to seek out what is correct, what is right for man, what is right for all of us.
Well, when
and
you
I
say,
can see nothing wrong.
Is there a distinction? It's interesting that you made a distinction between man and all of us.
Well, I'm using man there as
it's generic there, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, why aren't women involved in this seeking of the truth? Do women have no right to the truth?
Of course they have.
Then why are they forbidden?
Why are women forbidden?
Yeah, you're seeking the truth. If all you're doing is looking for the truth, then ask a few women. They probably know a damn sight more about the truth than a load of men that run around with their breasts exposed. Don't go away. I'll be back with you tomorrow after the midnight news.
The Midnight News, this is Alan King. A lawyer acting for some of the 200 children taken into care on Teesside says new medical tests on 3 of them show they were not sexually abused. The lawyer, David Scarfield, is demanding the return of the children to their families. If it doesn't happen, he says he'll take court action in the morning to get them back. Tonight, dozens of parents of the children in care attended a church in Middlesbrough. At an emotional service, they prayed that their families would soon be reunited. The service was organised by the vicar, the Reverend Michael Wright, who says what's happening may damage the families for years to come.
I've had parents saying to me, I shall be terrified of touching my children when or if I get them back. And I think it will have a long-term effect on family bonding in many cases.
A 4th man has been arrested in connection with Britain's biggest ever seizure of cocaine in London's Harley Street, where the country's top private doctors work. 51-year-old Roy Garner of North London will appear in court in the morning, charged with illegally importing the drug. £9 million worth of cocaine was found when customs officers raided a Harley Street address on Sunday. The Congressional Committee probing the Irangate affair has reached an agreement with Colonel Oliver North for him to testify before them next month. Negotiations to secure the vital testimony of the man at the centre of the scandal have been going on for weeks, and now Colonel North's lawyers have agreed he'll be quizzed in private for a week, followed by a week of public hearings. From New York, Andrew Mandelstam.
North, under threat of a possible jail sentence for contempt, backed down and will, after all, answer questions behind closed doors beginning the 1st of July, and a week later appearing publicly for what promises to be a grueling session before the Irangate Committee. The questioning could last for up to 7 days. The limit had been sought by North as part of a compromise. The panel members insist there was no deal. Andrew Mandelstam, IRN, New York.
Oil tycoon Armand Hammer, a man known to be close to both President Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, is predicting a superpower summit before the end of this year. 89-year-old Dr. Hammer said Mr. Gorbachev would make his first visit to the United States and talk directly to the American people during his meeting with President Reagan. The banned George Michael song I Want Your Sex is being used in Belgium to teach English to young children. A full transcript of the song is printed in national newspapers and the video is shown on television. So far there's been no protest from anyone. John Fraser reports.
If a young Belgian comes up to you and says, "Don't you think it's time you had sex with me?" don't worry, he's only doing his homework. The Brussels newspaper Le Soir has joined forces with national television to give English lessons using video clips. The English lyrics are given in full along with their French translation, which will be of great use to young children who want to join George Michael in raising the important question, what's your definition of dirty, baby? Another highlight of the video classroom is Depeche Mode's sadomasochistic song, Strange Love. John Fraser, IRN, Brussels.
Soccer, and England goalkeeper Peter Shilton has joined newly promoted Derby County in a £1 million deal. Derby chairman Robert Maxwell says the 3-year contract was signed in London tonight. Independent Radio News.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
Just after 3 minutes past midnight, welcome to Thursday. Preston 561,000 if you want to join us on the phone in. Back to Ivor.
Good
Hello
morning,
again.
Alan.
Good morning.
Well, that really is what I have to say. You referred to as a secret society. I would challenge that. I think it's a society of men with secrets, which really, and not a play on words, is quite a different concept.
I accept the subtle difference between a society with secrets and a secret society. However,
you see, the point that I'm making,
Go on.
Please let me just continue.
Yeah.
If it's a society with secrets, there is nothing stopping anyone going to, say, the Harris Library and getting a book on Freemasonry where it's all printed for anyone to see. And indeed, television has shown the ritual, which, to people like yourself that don't understand it, you mock it by saying people going around with naked breasts and the trouser leg rolled up, and you've missed the whole point.
But that is what they do.
I don't dispute that, but you're taking it out of context.
Well, out of
because
context,
you're
in
not a Mason,
context.
you don't understand it.
Well, I don't need to understand it. I can, if you can give me a justification for such ludicrous behaviour, then I'll be happy to hear that justification. Are you about to?
I would say that it's passed down from generation to generation, and each thing has a symbolic understanding by Masons.
Fine. I thought you were going to give me some justification for wandering about in such a ludicrous way.
That's your wording, not my wording.
That is my wording. I am happy to have you destroy that word. I am happy to have you convince me that I have been totally and utterly wrong. The word is totally out of place when I say ludicrous. Would you like to try and do so?
Well, I think it's just a total lack of understanding if you use the term ludicrous.
Well, I'm inviting you to remove that lack of understanding by giving me some understanding. Explain to me. Convince me.
The very simple point would be that if, for example, that if it were that you were asked to divest yourself or remove from you any money before becoming a Mason, which would be a reasonable thing to ask anyone to do, one could clearly see that there was a likeness to the birth and the arrival of a baby that was brought into the world penniless, and so a man joining, say, Masonry was also seen by others to be stripped of...
But he's not stripped. He could have the money in his pocket.
No, excuse me, he could not have his money. The point that I'm making is that he is stripped of rank, he is stripped of possession, he is stripped of wealth.
I'm sorry, he isn't.
And he could be...
He may well symbolically be so, but he doesn't give away all his money.
I didn't say give it all. I say he goes through a ceremony without money.
Well, I've done that.
Where have you done that?
I've gone through all kinds of ceremonies without money. When I got married, I never had any money.
No, but the clergyman or the vicar or the priest didn't take it from you before you went into church. That was your own violation.
I see. So what you're saying is the guy turns up on the night of his ritual, his initiation, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And whoever's in charge, I don't know the name, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter about that.
Yeah, so we call him the boss.
Right.
Says, okay, give us your money.
Right.
Well, if I knew that was going to happen, I would have two questions to ask. One would be, do I get it back when we've done all this breast stripping, trouser leg rolling, slipper wearing frocks?
Right.
When we've done all that, do I get it back? Because if you do, you can have it for now. But if you're not going to
stop you at that stage and say that if, for example, that a total stranger, and he would be a total stranger, took your money from you, would it not be true to say that you had a degree of trust in the person that took the money from you, and when you found that everything was returned back, everything was returned back to you, that introduced a degree of trust with strangers? Do you not think there was a moral lesson there?
He wouldn't get it unless I was sure that either I would get it back because it was part of the ritual, or alternatively, I'd make damn sure I didn't take a lot with me. To be perfectly frank, if I was going to... I know, but to be frank, if I was going to that, I'd probably take a £5 and think, well, it's worth investing a £5 just for the grin. So I'll take a £5.
Well, that's fair comment.
So
if you did take a £5, it would possibly be taken from you, and if it were taken from you and it was returned back to you by a total stranger, and there was a reason for doing it, and that's the sort of secret that we're talking about, and there's an absolute reason, then you can't talk about us being morons dashing around.
Well, I didn't say you were morons, I just said the ritual is ludicrous, and you haven't convinced me that it isn't.
Same translation.
You haven't convinced me it isn't.
No.
If somebody said to me...
No.
Or if somebody had some symbolic way of proving to me they were honest, they wouldn't have to do it by getting me to roll my trouser leg up, wear slippers, expose my left breast, lie prostrate with a noose round my neck, and I'd threaten to have my tongue ripped out. That is no way to convince me that I can trust them.
No.
If I've got to behave in that ludicrous manner, then as far as I'm concerned, I am playing about with some immature imbeciles.
Yes.
That is my opinion.
You're entitled to opinion.
Indeed I am. Now, will you please convince me I'm wrong? Convince me that ritual has something of major significance that will render it sensible, because at the moment I think it is the behaviour of imbeciles.
Well, all I'm trying to illustrate is that everything there is symbolic and there is a reason for it. And
well, give me the reason.
Well,
I'm not a mason. I don't have to trust you. You've not had my £5 and give it me back. So give me a reason.
Putting it that way, I can't answer your question at all.
All I can say, pal, is you've been bezicked.
You have been bezicked.
Must be embarrassing being bezicked with your trouser leg rolled up when you're wearing a pinny.
A street, a sound is the start of the day. It's the heat of the road, it's breaking away. A kiss, a glance, it is hot, it is cool. A smile, a chance, it is breaking a rule. It's just how you feel when you know it's for real. It's a hit, it's a Coca-Cola, is it?
So this is your new Fiesta from Bradshaw's, eh? Oh, very nice. Yeah, your driving's improved, very smooth.
Thank you for your patronising appraisal of my motoring abilities, Eric, but it's all thanks to the revolutionary CTX automatic transmission system. It simply means driving couldn't be simpler.
The Fiesta 1.10 gear now comes with the option of CTX automatic transmission at Bradshaw's, so you don't have to change gear.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
You're better off at Bradshaw's.
This year's Red Rose Radio Proms with the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra will be on July the 7th, 8th and 11th. These 3 evenings of fine music comprise the Ron Goodwin Spectacular, a Viennese night, and, of course, the traditional rousing last night of the proms. Single and series tickets are now available from the Preston Guildhall booking office, or call 58858 for further details. That's 58858. July the 7th, 8th and 11th for the 1987 Red Rose Radio Preston Proms.
They've stopped. It's not. Rod just told me it's called the Light Cavalry. It isn't. It's called Well, I'm Robin Hood with me little bow and arrow. Never mind all that. I'll do Lucy.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, love.
I've just phoned you up. You know earlier on when you were talking about willies?
Go on.
Wasn't you talking about willies?
I'm not sure that I can own up to this. Go on, Lucy.
Well, I'm having an Austin icy party and I was wondering if you want to come and buy yourself a willy warmer.
Well, do they do them in extremely small?
No, they only start from 10 inches.
10 inches?
Yeah.
I see. I don't think that'd be much use to me. I don't think a lot of it would just be air, and that's spelt without the H.
Oh, isn't your willy that big?
No, it's not. No.
Oh, you must be old then, are you?
Pardon?
Are you old?
Old?
Yeah, is it shriveled up?
No, it's never actually made it to 10 inches. I have to hang a brick off it for a month for that. I'll do David.
Hello. I'd like to talk about my job.
Well, do
I
so.
work 40 hours a week and only get 20 minutes dinner time.
And?
You know, is he breaking the law, my boss?
Shouldn't think so.
No?
Don't think so. It depends on...
breaks or nothing like that.
Well, that's all right. It depends on the job, what you're doing.
TV engineer?
No.
No?
No.
Not like that, that's all I want to know.
Sorry, mate. How do Stephen?
How do I?
What do you want?
I'd like to talk about Bowen, if I may, please.
Spell it.
B-O-W-N.
Oh.
Can I, please?
If you like.
I think it's too hairy. What do you think?
How do to no one.
If the roof caves in or you need a new bin, get yourself down to Fairwood. Need a new front door or tiles on the floor, get yourself down to Fairwood. If the front gate squeaks or the radiator leaks or the house needs a lick of paint, then nail it, screw it, you know you can do it yourself with Fairwood. Need a tin of grout or a new downspout, do it yourself with Fairwood. Patio flags and cement in bags, do it yourself with Fairwood. Keep the weather out, insulate the house, you can save yourself a mint. Just nail it, screw it, you know you can do it yourself with Fairwood.
At Cemetery Road Southport, Higgins Lane Burscough, and now at Market Woods, Wigan Road, West Horton.
Come to Pepper Lane Chippy soon. We're never closed, because we're always peeling taters, fishing for the freshest fish in town, or baking a selection of mouth-watering pizzas. Visit the Pepper Lane Chippy in Pepper Lane off the main Preston Road, Standish near Wigan. Which reminds me, fee, fi, fo, fum, Pepper Lane Chippy, here I come.
Away, away, on an Avalon holiday.
The date is the 27th of June, the destination Austria. Imagine 10 days of luxury coach travel with stays in Liège, Gastorf, Zillertal and Strasse, plus excursions to Innsbruck and Meyerhofen. The company is Avalon Travel. The price, a giveaway at £199 for 10 superb days. Ring Avalon Travel now on Bolton 398 788.
Bolton 398 788 to book your holiday.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out, I need, for next to nought, indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So, shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call New, and Overt Road, the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
How do Chris?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm ringing about dogs.
Go on.
Well, I believe you reckon they're stupid or something.
Well, they can't be stupid or summoned. It's not one of those things
you
you can
said
be...
they were stupid.
Well, I didn't say or summoned.
Alright, you said they were stupid.
This is true.
Yeah, well, can you explain why?
Because they are.
What? Because they have to be trained to do things?
No, they're just stupid.
Not stupid.
Well, you asked me to explain why I say they're stupid. It's because they're stupid. Now you're going to try and convince me that they're not?
Well, they're not stupid because, like,
Well,
the guys
convince me.
blind people.
Yes.
I mean, you weren't born with all the knowledge you've got now, was you?
Chris, we're not talking about... Chris, dear boy, we're not talking about...
Don't call me dear boy, sweetie.
All right, Petal. Chris, will you tell the intellectual pygmy in the background to either shut his mouth or grow up? I don't mind which. I really do not mind which, as long as he does one of them now.
Right, he's gone now.
Good night. How do Tim?
All right, Alan. I wanted to talk about Freemasonry.
Then do so.
Well, I think if anybody thinks it's that bad, you know, that it goes into the police force and
They
other
think
things.
what's that bad that goes into the police force?
Freemasonry, you know.
Explain yourself.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about a lot of policemen being Freemasons and all. If you go along the road, if I'm correct in what I've heard, and a policeman stops you and maybe you're a Freemason, that he'll say, go on, you're all right, like.
Well, that is if you also, and he also, are Freemasons. That has been suggested might happen. Go on.
Really, I don't accept that at all.
That's fair enough.
I think if policemen, most policemen, have my, have my objections against certain policemen, but I think most policemen are really good and upstanding people. And I think if a lot of policemen are in the Freemasons, I think it's probably a good thing anyway.
A good thing for the police or a good thing for the Freemasons?
I think a good thing for the whole of society.
Why? What is there in Freemasons that will make a policeman a better policeman? Or a worse one, for that matter?
I'll tell you what's in it.
Well, I was hoping you would. That was why I asked.
Yes, well, I'll tell you. It's like the Knights of the Columbus or any trade union.
The Knights of the St. Columbus and the trade unions. I don't know about Knights of St. Columbus, but the trade unions are not secret societies or even societies with secrets.
Yeah, all right, the Knights of Columbus and let's say the Oddfellows and things like that.
Well, let us just deal with the one we've got. We don't need to introduce any others. You always do this because you're not intellectually sound. However, tell me... Shut up. Shut up.
Now, how about
Shut up.
All right.
So tell me...
I'll give you just...
Shut up! So tell me why it is a good thing for policemen to be Freemasons. That's all I want to know.
And I will tell you. Television, all the sons and daughters are in it.
Excuse me. Stop. Stop now. Stop now. Tell me. Shut up, you intellect. Tim, tell me. Tim, my intellectual pygmy friend, will you please listen to the question and answer it? Tell me why it is a good thing for police to be Freemasons. That was the question. It's got sweet nothing to do with television. Well, do so now, you godless prat. You'll have it dark.
Scum and the scum of society and riffraff. And the police have to face them, that's why.
Oh, I see. Tim? Tim?
Yes.
Tim, there are scum and riffraff currently serving...
And you won't find them in the Freemasons.
Tim, there are scum and riffraff currently serving prison sentences who were also Freemasons.
Very
and
few.
Oh, you just told me I wouldn't find any. Now you're telling me I'll only find a few.
I wouldn't say they were scum and riffraff.
Oh, they're not scum and riffraff. Wrongly accused of fraud. I'm a Freemason, Your Honour. Well, that's all right, boy. You can go free. Tim, get a prat. Get off. No wonder your wife left you. How do, James?
Good evening, Mr. Bessie. It's about Freemasons, actually.
I hope you're not as bright as Tim.
Well, I'd just like to say that on October the 13th, 1307, the Knights Templars were suppressed in France. Now, behind that organisation was a society called the Prières de Sion, or Sion, and they are the controllers of the Freemasons today. They always have been, and they always will be, as far as I can see. Now, the Grand Master of the Freemasons today is a person called Pierre Plantard de Saint Clair. And the Freemasons is like an army. The privates and the generals. The generals decide the policy, the privates are not told anything. And I heard a chap tonight on about the Freemasons, and it's obvious he doesn't know the policy or the ultimate policy of the Freemasons. Are you listening to me? Are you still
Yes,
there?
yes, I'm still here. I'm still listening. I'm fascinated for the time being, anyway.
Well, it isn't anything secret. You can get this knowledge if you look for it, sort of thing. It is in certain libraries and books and whatnot. That's all I've got to say, actually. Sorry, I haven't got any more information for you.
It's all right. We'll settle for that. Thank you for your call.
Thanks.
How do, Stephen?
Hello, I'm a man. I'd like to talk about Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't think it's right that they should be able to come round to your house preaching the religion to you.
Why not?
Why? Because it's forcing it upon you, isn't it?
No.
Well, it is. Like,
Well,
I've got my house.
I've never had any problem with it. What do you mean it's forcing it upon you? Do you not have hinges on the door? Do you not have the ability to close the door and say, no, thank you? Not
Well, yeah, you do. But I was, one come round to my house the other day, and I knew it was something because there were about 4 of them. And now, so I
thought you said 1 came round to my house the other day. Now you're telling me there were 4.
Oh,
1 is hardly about 4. It's a difficult number to count to for you.
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
well, let's not
1
split
is not.
hairs.
We're not splitting hairs. When you say 1 came round and then it turns out the 4, we're not splitting hairs.
All right, then. Some came round to my house the other day.
Very good.
And I saw them, and so I hid from them. And now I was climbing about, and they saw me. So for shame, I had to get up and go to the door. And I said, I don't believe, I do actually, but it doesn't matter. I said I didn't believe in God, right? So then they started preaching to me, made it even worse. And then I was at the door for about half an hour, I couldn't get away, and they gave me leaflets and loads of stuff. And I couldn't get away. I think it's bad news.
Oh. Well, all you had to do was say, no, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, well, I did, but they said, oh, yeah, but you can't. You've got to have an open mind about it. So I said, well,
No,
yeah, I do, but I'm
excuse me.
atheist, so, you know.
Stephen. All you've got to do is say, no, thank you, goodbye. That isn't what you said. That is what you should have said. Do it next time.
Yeah, but have you tried that? It doesn't work.
It's irrelevant whether I've tried it. Do it.
So you haven't tried it, so you don't know what you're on about then if you haven't
Well,
tried it.
it's irrelevant whether I've tried it, Stephen, but it is clear that what you have tried doesn't work.
Yeah, I know, but I've tried that
Well,
before,
try.
and that don't work either.
I'm
don't
sorry,
you?
because a few moments ago you hadn't. Now you have. Well, isn't it funny how time flies when you're bored out your skull talking to a prat? How do, Martin?
Hello?
Yes?
Martin. I'd like to know about bypassing, actually.
The operations or the roads?
Well, my father-in-law had a heart attack about 12 months ago.
The operations. Go on.
And it was all right, but his breath taking, you know. He couldn't get his breath. So now he's put in for some kind of operation. Not an operation, sorry, but a test to see if he can get through for a bypass. I was wondering whether he'll be all right after a bypass.
It rather depends on whether A, his condition is one that can be dealt with a bypass operation, B, whether it is successful, and C, whether he'll get it done in time.
Well, he's supposed to go in this week to have the test for I don't know what you call it. It's to see what's up with his bloodstream or whatever. Do you want a word for it?
There are a number of different words. An intravenous pyelogram is one of the phrases used. IVP.
No. Well, no. What it is, anyway, he's definitely going for a bypass operation, anyhow. And I was sort of wondering, after the operation, will he be all right, you know?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were a doctor or something.
Well, I'm not.
Not now, I mean, but you...
I never have been a doctor, ever.
But you was...
I used to be a psychiatric nurse. We didn't do a lot of bypass operations.
I see, so could you give me no information about that?
Absolutely none, other than the medics, the doctors and the like won't do it unless they think it is the right thing to do.
So, all right, and say that it is the right thing to do, and he does have the operation. What is it that consists of after? Will it be all right after?
The answer is I do not know. The people who might know are the doctors. They're the people you should be talking to.
I said, yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Alan, but it's something I like to be rest assured, not through a doctor.
Well, I can't assure you because I do not know. There are many people who have had very successful bypass operations. Very many.
Yeah.
But I can't reassure you because that would be reassuring you falsely. I do not know is the answer. What you need is to talk to some of the organisations that help patients such as your father. But for sure, many people have had successful bypass operations. Talk to the doctors. That's what they're for.
Yeah, okay. Oh, thanks a lot.
Sorry I can't help more, but I'm not going to fib to you. Howdy, Phil.
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
I've never been sexist, but I was talking the other night, young girl, and we're going on about things and that, how men treat women and all that, and I've always treated women as my equal. And she just turned around
That must be unfortunate for them if they're only as low as you, but go on.
She turned around to me and she just said, well, why did God create man? I said, well, I don't know. And she just turned around and said, because the vibrator won't mow the lawn.
How do, Stephen?
Hello, Alan. Let's
Yes.
ask advice for me, please.
Go ahead.
Well, we got rats in the back kitchen, right? I've been to see the council over it. And every time they come out, they keep eating chocolate biscuits.
The rats or the council?
The rats.
I see. Well, what you need to do is buy a large box of chocolate biscuits and
Yeah.
put them in the garden, and all the rats will go out there to eat them. How do, Mike?
Morning, Alan.
Morning.
I'd like your advice, please. A couple of months ago, I bought a car because I needed a car to get to work. And recently, I tried to trade it in against a new car because I wanted a new car. And it seems that the car I've got was in position of a total claims loss on the insurance by a previous owner. And the garage that I was trying to deal with wants to now knock £1,000 off the value as a trade-in. And I wondered if you can help me and advise me.
The simple answer is that if the garage isn't prepared to trade with you, other than on those terms, then you're stuck with it or shop around.
Yeah, the trouble is that it's on the record because the insurance company apparently had it put on the record that it was a total claims loss.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
and so they should.
Yeah,
I think if you have any argument at all, and I don't know how legally valid that argument is, but if you have any argument at all, it is with the people that sold it to you, not with the people you're trying to sell it to. You can't make them buy it. So if somebody sold you a pup, then the people that sold you the pup have got to do the compensating, if anybody has. But clearly you can't enforce someone to take your car in part exchange when it's a bucket of junk.
Yeah, it's not a bucket of junk.
Well, it is by their definition. They've got to flog it on. They buy cars off you in trade-in and they sell them on, as it's called. And they're not going to be able to get the value because they can't guarantee finding another mug like you to buy it.
Yeah, unfortunately I bought it privately, but the HPI that they did turns out that it was stolen, stripped, and the insurance company paid out rather than rebuild it.
Yes, what I'm saying to you